Good morning. On this week's episode of The Professor Helps, I want to talk about an attitude of gratitude or an attitude of saditude. So, both choices are entirely valid. I want to say that again. Both choices are entirely valid. It's the week of Thanksgiving, so of course there's a lot of focus right now on attitude of gratitude. What am I thankful for? Well, that is something that you have to decide. What are you grateful for? Sometimes it can be really, really hard to find that attitude of gratitude. I will tell you that in my experience, there is nothing to lift a mood of saditude more than an act of gratitude. And thinking about something that you're grateful for is usually a good way to get yourself out of feeling down in the dumps or being depressed or being upset. I saw something online yesterday that was really, really great. It talked about the fact that, we are all facing difficulty. We are all facing different levels of nuance and complexity of this pandemic. It's people who, want to get together for Thanksgiving, know that they shouldn't, but are going to do it anyway. I've tried to talk to some people about the inadvisability of that, and I've gotten through to some, and I've not gotten through to others. And that's okay. Everybody has to do what it is in them to do. I'll take one last shot. If you have plans to go do something tomorrow and go somewhere tomorrow, please go ahead and cancel them, because the cases are rising every day and it's just getting worse. And if you do the math, which isn't difficult, put a bunch of people together, and if they're eating, they're certainly not going to be masked. It's going to result in more cases, and this thing is going to continue instead of us getting control of it when we have a vaccine. So I'm going to get off my soapbox now and go back to my message, which is of gratitude and saditude. I am grateful that I have a family. I am grateful for my daughter's smile. I am grateful for the fact that my husband is able to do things like learn how to cook a turkey. He's never done that before because we've always had family to rely on. And another friend of mine was talking yesterday about how we should ask our parents and ask our grandparents what their recipes are and the things that they have to pass down. We should interview them like important subjects, because they are. And it's the kind of thing that you don't think about because you've got so much going on, and it's like so many people look back and go, gosh, I wish I had gotten that recipe for grandma's fudge. I wish that I had asked this relative who's no longer with us about this time in their life. And I think that the holidays are as good a time as any, and you can have that conversation over Zoom when you're having your conference face, right here. Go, hey, I was thinking about it, and tell me what it was like for you when you were in your 20s or when you were in your 30s, and what was your first job, and what were some things that were important to you then. Do you remember? And, you can prep to have these conversations throughout the year. It doesn't have to be once a year. In fact, it should be an ongoing conversation. Something that I am actively doing is asking people questions like, what's your favorite food? Because that kind of gets people talking about why it's their favorite food. Kind of like if you've ever thought about, do you have a favorite color? Why? Why is that your favorite color? And some people do not have favorite colors, which is totally fine. But if you have a favorite color, usually there's a story attached to why. Or if there's something that you have a very strong feeling about that you don't like or that you detest, again, there's probably a story. I have a friend of mine who hates Cheerios because there were carpenter ants that got in her Cheerios, and she's never been able to shake that. It's a terrifying story. But it's also a reason she will not touch Cheerios. The other thing is that take this chance while you are on the screen with another person to say, hey, I really wish that we could be together, but we can't. I really wish that we could sit around at the table and talk about what we're grateful for face to face without masks. But this year we can't. So I guess the message today is about having that attitude of gratitude, because I get that it's hard to find gratitude sometimes. I definitely struggle with it. I struggled with that when I got up this morning to do this message. I struggled. Okay, so what am I grateful for? Well, I am grateful for the fact that I have an audience who watches these videos. I am grateful for the fact that I've had a couple people reach out to me and tell me this is helpful for them, that it lands with them, that it resonates with them. And so that makes me feel good. I'm grateful for the fact that I have a platform from which to speak. And I am also really grateful that while we are in a pandemic, we have the tool of technology to be able to stay connected. And so as you walk into the rest of this week, some of you, it's a short week because tomorrow is Thanksgiving, and then it's something to think about as you're walking around, and whether you're remote in your homes with school, a lot of kids are off school this week. What does that look like? Are you going outside? Are you appreciating nature? Are you just grateful to not be looking at school screens all day? All of that's valid. So thinking about your attitude of gratitude or your attitude of saditude, again, both choices, totally valid. If you have the attitude of saditude, I feel you, I hear you, I see you. It is very, very hard right now, and there are still things to be grateful for. So embrace how you're feeling, saditude or gratitude, and then decide how long you're going to feel that way. It's a piece of my mom's advice that I think is really excellent. If you're feeling down in the dumps and you're feeling sad, that's fine. It's kind of like if you are at a pity party, that's fine. Just don't stay there. I think that a big part of getting out of this attitude is reaching towards the gratitude. So I will invite you, if you're feeling saditude, go ahead and feel it. Feel all your feelings. Feel upset that you're not going to be around the table with your family. Go ahead and feel sad about that. Be grateful for the future that's coming, where you will be able to sit with them, because we're going to find a vaccine and we're going to beat this thing, because there are so many people working on that. Be grateful for that. Be grateful that there are people who are working every day to bring us a brighter future. And I think that that is something to cling to. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been The Professor Helps, and I'm the Professor, signing off.